Oh yes, welcome to the channel, welcome to the New Jack City of Manchester. It's just my Friday lunchtime walk over to some music shops. How are you? How have you been? I can't lie guys, it's been absolutely freezing this week in Manchester because I work all week here, getting public transport into town. It's actually the first day this week I felt I've had some energy. I felt drained all week. If you've been following some of my previous videos, to be honest, the last 3 weeks I've been in Liverpool on a Saturday, going through all the sales, places like Dead Air, Dig, and I've been going early and coming back pretty late because, you know, Manchester to Liverpool, it's about an hour's drive. So yeah, last weekend actually took a lot out of me. Literally carrying tons of 80s soul albums that I found in the sales for about £2, carrying them on my back in my backpack. Not a great idea. I mean, it's a good workout, but I just felt exhausted all week. Big backpacks full of vinyl when I really should have dumped them in the car on my way back. But I went to the Dead Air sale and I got there about 11 when it opened, and there was a queue around the block. A queue, I mean, I can't remember if I've ever queued to get in have you ever queued to get in a record shop? I think maybe in the early 90s, Power Cuts Yanks in Manchester City Centre when they had a sale on, but I'm going back nearly 30 years there. I was stunned. I thought, I'll give it 15-20 minutes, and when I finally got in the shop, it was crazy. I mean, what an experience. I did film it. I'm not sure when you're going to see it though, because I've got about, as well as Monday's episode of the Vinyl Search coming up, I've got another four episodes to do every week, so you might not see that episode till the end of February. We shall see. I could do a 2-hour special on Liverpool actually, but yeah, came out of there, got some great stuff, and a big shout to Mark, who I met in the queue as well. We had a right good chat, and he was into similar stuff as I was. But yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, I'm heading over to Empire Exchange, and then I might head to HMV. Empire Exchange is like it's like an antiques bric-a-brac shop with vinyl and CDs in there. I'll just see if I can find any cheap bargains. And what else? When I was in Vinyl Exchange last Friday, I seen a sign on the door, on one of the doors, saying they're looking for permanent staff to work in the shop. I mean, I'll get into that a bit later on, maybe working in a record shop. So yeah, I'll bring you back in a few Milli Vanillis. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Empire Exchange in the background, just off Piccadilly. It's been here about 25 years. It's a weird and wonderful place. All sorts of stuff, books, magazines, DVDs, bric-a-brac. There's some vinyl in there, all second-hand stuff. But you don't know really what you're going to find and what kind of condition it's in. Just pot luck really. All prices are pretty cheap. Must go and have a look inside for a while, see what we can see. There's the old Batman there. This is in really good condition. The Melbourne Moor was in shocking condition. And so was the JD, unfortunately. Really, really bad condition. But, oh well. Wow. Wow, seeing that on vinyl. I already got it though. I'd have got that otherwise. Right. Yeah, these are all the 12-inch sections here. I found one interesting album, I'll show it you later actually. Art Madison, blowing my mind. Wow. Right. Do check the condition if you come in here though. The sleeves, some of the sleeves are battered. And the vinyl, check the condition of the vinyl as well. But there is some interesting bits in here. Yeah, really interesting place, the Empire Exchange. One of those places you never know what you might find. If you can tolerate going through a lot of badly used vinyl and the covers are pretty mashed up, but I was surprised to see the Dawn Z12 white label 12-inch. I don't know, some of you collect street souls, some of the prices go way high now. It could be, I didn't check Discogs, could be pretty cheap, but I did find one pretty well forgotten hip hop album from 1989. I'll show it you later. I was very happy to find it. It's in great condition as well. Yeah, I'm just heading to HMV. Like I said last week when I was in Vinyl Exchange, I saw we got a sign up saying they're looking for there's a full-time position working in the shop. Have you ever thought of working in a record shop? I mean, I've known lots of people, lots of friends who've worked in record shops. It was always one of those, you know, desert island dreams of mine, is just working in a record shop. It's a tough one because I'm very lucky for the last 25 years or so. I've had a very stable job. So, and it's, you know, when you're in a really stable job, it's like in the current climate, it's always been bad though, isn't it, the economy? It's never been a right time, but in the current climate, do you leave, you know, a really stable job to go and work in a record shop? I mean, Vinyl Exchange has been there a long time. I can't see it going anytime soon. And I'm sure working in there will be an incredible experience. The shop manager, Ray, who passed away, I think it was early last year, which was a shocker, absolute. I was gutted. I mean, they've not really replaced Ray. You can't really replace Ray because he just knew a lot about music, and he'd always, if he was a regular in there, he'd always make time to chat to you. He'd always give me a bit of discount as well. He never needed to do that, but you know, I really miss that guy. And I think they've had a few other people in there working on the counters. I think someone's just left. So yeah, if any of you thinking of wanting to work in a record shop, get your CV in by, I think it's next week, the end of next week, I'm not too sure, but I don't know, with my vinyl habit, would I really make any money stood in a record shop, you know, used vinyl coming in all the time? Would I want it all for myself? It's one of them, you know, you're like, how do you resist? But yeah, have you ever thought of working in a record shop? You know, I'll consider it though. I mean, it's not something that I'll ever rule out. I might really enjoy it, I don't know. Anyway, we're at HMV. Well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people grabbing this weekend on vinyl. Break of Dawn there, produced by Teddy, One More Chance, as well as all the usual hits. Big release on vinyl, that. A few big reissues, Prince, Hit and Run, Phase 2. I got these on CD. I suppose Prince collectors are going to grab Prince vinyl collectors are going to grab these though. We will be reviewing Keith Sweat's second album on the podcast on Sunday night at 9:30. We've got Jackie McGee as a guest with Namdi on the Halftime Chat podcast that we'll be broadcasting live on my channel. I mean, originals of this now go for about £100. It's a nice reissue that I still need to get this. Yeah, working in a record shop, maybe some of you who do work in record shops can tell me about this experience, because I suppose if someone brings their collection in, or a bunch of records that, you know, they're getting rid of, maybe they're attached to something, and you got to look through it and figure out, can you sell some of these? Can you take them all, or are you just going to cherry pick it? Giving them a price, you know, a fair price, and how the people bringing those records in react to that. I mean, I suppose it's easy if it's just a bunch of like £1 charity shop stuff. You can just send them on the way, or just give them a tenner or something for a bag of records. But if it's a lot of rarities and they kept them in really good condition, you know, you got to make them an offer, haven't you? And I can see people who work in record shops, they are dealing with a lot of different kinds of people. I think that's always the challenge in it. Working in the shop is dealing with the types of people that come in there. I'm sure you get great customers, regulars who come in and buy some records all the time, and then you've got your really awkward customers who are haggling on prices and things like that. I don't know, the other thing is being in a record shop and listening to music all day. When you get home, do you want to listen to music? I'm sure you don't. Maybe you want to switch off from it. It's like any job, innit, really? But making a record shop work, it can't be easy. I was thinking about the effect that rough trade, because I've been in Liverpool the last 3 weeks, the effect of rough trade and what it's had on some of the smaller independent shops. And I know it has had an effect, because some of them, because they're all now competing for Record Store Day. You know, whereas Piccadilly in Manchester, they don't have much competition. I know Vinyl Exchange gets Record Store Day stuff in, but Piccadilly, they've got a free run at it in Manchester. They get the bulk of the stuff. There's always massive queues round the block. So I wonder if rough trade will be looking at moving into Manchester and what effect it would have on like a Piccadilly or a FOP. You know, because FOP to me is like, it's like HMV Overstocks. If you've ever been in there, you do get the odd bits, the odd like independent like releases in there, which are always good to find. I do find FOP quite interesting actually. But if rough trade did hit Manchester, I think it would affect possibly Piccadilly and possibly FOP. But maybe they're not. On Saturday there's a record fair happening at the Britannia Hotel here in Piccadilly. I've not been to that one, so I'll see how I feel tomorrow. Actually, in the first time in 6 months, I feel like crashing out this weekend. It's just like taking a break. But I'll see how I feel in the morning. There's also a few shops that I've got my eyes on. It'd be a drive out of town. We'll see how I feel in the morning, whether I'm going to go out, whether I'm going to go to this I mean, the thing is, when you work in the city 5 days a week, you don't want to go back in on the weekends. Britannia Hotel, it's a bit of a slog into Piccadilly, parked up and that, so we'll see anyway. I'll see how I feel in the morning. On Monday, on the Vinyl Search, the last time I went to a record fair here, I went again a month later at Sasha's Hotel, so you're going to see a second trip to that, which is pretty interesting. And there was a situation happened in there where I had my hands on an album, and the next time I went to buy it, it just disappeared. But I'll leave you to watch that one on Monday. Obviously podcast Sunday night with Jackie McGee and Namdi, Keith Sweat's second album. I want to say actually a big thanks to the guys at Resurrection Records for sending me some coffees. I really appreciate that. Get yourselves down to that shop if you haven't already. Big shout to Cosmic Baggy as well, or Cosmic Baggy, for buying me a coffee. Really appreciate that, sir. Like I say, there's a buy me a coffee link just down below. You don't have to do it. If if you enjoy these videos and you want to support me out in the cold day, buy me a coffee. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Big thanks for all of you watching. A big thanks to anyone who comments. I'm always reply. Big thanks to anyone who likes the videos as well. I'm just amazed anyone watches these at half the time. But yeah, I will show you what I've got out of the Empire shortly. But yeah, I'll drop another video next week and give you an update of what's been going on. Thanks for watching, and speak to you soon.
I can see it.
Yeah, so just a really couple of obscure bits today. Out of Manchester, going back to the early to mid-90s, Dawn Z. I was stunned to find this. I'd say the vinyl's in VG condition, very playable. Like I say, with the price of street sold now, I mean, it could be, I've not checked Discogs, it could be a couple of quid. But I was just really surprised to see it. Just brought a lot of memories back, really. And this album, Miss Melody, Diva, and she does look like a diva in a gold outfit, doesn't she? From 1989, produced by BDP, of course, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. I only paid £6 for this. The vinyl's in VG condition. Sleeve's a bit warm, but I was just really surprised to see it. I don't have it on CD. I may have a download of it somewhere, but like I say, I was very pleased to find this in Empire Exchange. Yeah, so I'll have some fun with this. And I would have bought that Rare Groove album with Strange Games and Funky Things on. But for £6, the vinyl was really badly marked up. But produced by Barry White. I would have bought, and the Melbourne More, but they were in really, really bad condition. So yeah, that's my little picks for this weekend.